Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Aging with Attitude. My name is Phil Koch. I'm your host this evening. This is Channel 21, servicing the greater Charlotte area. Thank you for joining us tonight. And tonight we have a friend of mine, Marcia Scheideman.
That's right.
She is the executive director, of the Shepherd Center of Charlotte. Welcome.
Well, thank you. It's delightful to be here.
Great. Well, why don't we start first of all and tell us more, what is the Shepherd Center in general?
Okay.
In your own words, please.
Okay. Well, Shepherd Center in general is built on the concept of lifelong learning and service for seniors by seniors. Mm-hmm. So in order to call yourself a Shepherd Center, and there are many around the country, right, you have to buy into that whole concept.
Okay.
Here in Charlotte, about 35 years ago, as a matter of fact, we celebrate our 35th anniversary this year.
Wow.
A group of the local churches who did a lot of community projects together got together and just talked about how they were not serving their seniors. Mm-hmm. So instead of going internally back to their own congregations, they chose to do the research and see what they could do to find some kind of community project that would serve not the spiritual needs necessarily of the seniors, but the other needs, to help them keep their minds active, right, to keep physically independent, to help them out in their homes so they could stay independent for as long as they chose to do that, and hence Shepherd Center was formed.
Wow, what year was that?
It was 1980.
Wow.
It was in the planning stages in the late 70s.
Yeah.
As I said, they did their research and they heard a speaker by the name of Koch, who came to Charlotte and spoke about his new concept of Shepherd Center, which was the first Shepherd Center in Kansas City, and they bought right into it. And that's how we came about.
Wow. Wow.
One of the interesting tidbits is that I am the third executive director in 35 years, which means that initial young hire, Bridget O'Connor, was around for over 25 years. Wow. And she really did amazing things. So we appreciate her legacy.
And then it was Linda.
And then it was Linda for 6 or 7 years, and then I came on board about 3.5 years ago, or 2.5 years ago. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I know that because I actually sat on the board for a couple of years.
Yes, you did.
For the nonprofit, a fantastic agency, and we're going to get into that tonight. Mm-hmm. So why don't we start with, as well, let's start with some of the activities.
Okay.
That is done at the Shepherd Center.
Okay, as I said, we are chartered to be built on that whole concept of lifelong learning.
Right.
So our flagship program is called Adventures in Learning. Mm-hmm. It runs for 6 consecutive weeks, 3 times a year. And then in the summertime, we have an abbreviated program, which is only 4 weeks in length. On our regular sessions, fall, winter, spring, mm-hmm, there is a general session that runs from 10 to 11 o'clock in the morning. It is a speaker built on a theme. This past spring, the theme was fun and fabulous. And we had Christopher Warren Green there. We had the head of the Charlotte Ballet there. We had a representative from the new ballpark. So, just fun things to do around Charlotte.
Yeah.
That seniors can do.
Yeah.
And then we break at 11, and folks self-select into 6 or 8 different classes. And those classes can be anything from Tai Chi to bridge, to clogging, to the history of the Middle East. There are some Bible studies or studies of different religions, right, but a lot of history, the U.S. Constitution we've taught a couple of times, but whatever people's interest is, that's what they choose to take. Right. Then we break again, and provide lunch. Or people bring their own lunch, either way, and then they self-select into another 6 or 8 classes in the afternoon. So if a senior chooses to, they can be there from 9:30 in the morning when they meet and socialize with all their buddies, or meet new people, until 2:30 in the afternoon, just learning new things. It is a program that has grown over the years. We probably had in my tenure, had our biggest session this last spring.
Really?
And spring is not typically our biggest session. So we are in a break period right now, start up again in July.
Okay.
In July, we don't have a general session. We just have a 2-hour hands-on class. Again, 6 or 7 classes to choose from. We have a volunteer that's going to be teaching dance that are under the auspices of tennis, which should be interesting. I'm not a tennis player, but it should be interesting. It's lower key, smoother movements, and just teaching folks on a low impact kind of tennis through dance. We will have bridge. We will have some other kinds of things, jewelry making. You can go online and see what all the classes that are being offered.
Right.
Then, as a request from one of our participants, a little over a year ago, she came up to us and said, there is just too much time between the end of July and when the fall session starts up again. She says, I just miss coming. So my program director put together last August 4 Mondays in which we visited 4 of the different retirement communities, and they told us a little bit about who they were and what they served in terms of their clientele, their residents, and then they fed them lunch.
Oh, what a great idea.
This year, we're doing a series on history, American history. Okay. So we have someone that's coming to give a session on the Civil War, someone that's coming to do a session on the American Revolution, some Vietnam vets that are coming and sharing their experience, and what did I miss? Anyway, there's a 4th one.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. And that's going to be when?
That's going to be July. At Christ Episcopal Church on Providence Road from 10 to 12.
Well, this taping will probably be aired in the middle, sometime in the summer or maybe later part of the summer. But if they miss the first one, they could still go to the second or third one or whatever.
Absolutely.
They can pick and choose, right?
And we do that in the summertime in particular because people travel a lot and just have busy times.
Vacations
in the summertime.
Right. Yeah.
So that's Adventures in Learning.
Wow.
Then we also have what was formerly called computer programs or computer classes. We are now stepping beyond the computer and getting into iPhones and iPads and Androids and all of that kind of stuff. So we can't call it computer anymore. So it is now technology for today and tomorrow. We do that in cooperation with Southminster Retirement Community. They provide a space, and we provide the talent and the upkeep and all that kind of stuff. So they are ongoing, and they are also online.
So is it like in my house, and you have 8-year-olds that can teach the class?
That's right. And in the summertime, we sometimes use that to our advantage when the high school kids need community service. It's great. And we also have ongoing travel opportunities, day trips in and around the North Carolina region.
Yes.
We'll charter a bus and take a trip out to the wineries and have lunch somewhere, or out to Asheville for the Christmas festivities, or to the
Biltmore House, right?
Biltmore House, the Asheboro Zoo we've gone to. We've gone down to, just recently, the BMW plant down in South Carolina, and that was really popular. In the summertime, we tend to do inside things because we never know about the weather. Any
sales when they left the tour?
Yeah, I don't know. Or giveaways, right? Door prizes. We go to Flat Rock Playhouse every year. We go out to see the Davidson Players every year, and those are all real popular. In fact, our 3 summer trips are not quite, but almost already sold out. So.
Yes. So the Shepherd Center has, we're talking about just some of the many activities, extremely popular, especially on the trips and the Adventures of Learning. And if you're of interest in this, please contact Marcia and or somebody at the Shepherd Center, because the sooner the better. These things do sell out.
They do sell out. They do fill up. So yeah. We also provide services free to seniors.
Okay.
The 3 that I just mentioned, they do have a registration fee tied with it.
Okay.
Although the Levines have been very generous to us and provided us with money to be able to give scholarships. So those are available too. So don't let the registration hold you back.
Okay.
But we also have services that are free to all seniors. One of the most popular is what we call SHIP, and at Shepherd Center we spell SHIP with 2 I's.
Right.
It's Senior Health Insurance Information Program, and that's essentially Medicare.
Right.
So as folks are approaching their 65th birthday or just after their 65th birthday, they can come in and spend several hours with a counselor who will help them navigate that system. Right. And I can personally attest, my husband just turned 65, and I insisted that we go in and see one of the counselors because it is a complicated system.
Yeah.
Then in the fall, everyone is encouraged to sign up for open enrollment and revisit their Part D, which is the supplement program, because the supplement's availability changes from year to year.
Yeah, it does. It's an ongoing, changing thing. We've had Jeannie from the state come in and speak here on the show a number of times.
Oh, good.
And she's had a lot of phone calls, and she's mentioned every time that the Shepherd Center is one of the main resources here in Charlotte that people can reach out to. It's free, correct?
It is free. We do accept donations because we are a nonprofit, but it's free.
Okay.
One of the other big services that we provide, and it is growing, is our medical transportation program. That's for seniors who may, for whatever reason, no longer be able to drive or choose to drive. But they still need to get to their doctor's appointments, and they still need to get to physical therapy. And so we have a cadre of senior volunteers who are willing to drive them to their appointments. And
car service, not wheelchair, right? Or
not wheelchair. No, they need to be able to get in and out of the car on their own. So that is growing. Just as a little aside, part of the reason is because while Bridget was still at the helm, many Charlotteans will remember that the city grew by annexing additional areas around the downtown. So the geography of Charlotte grew immensely in the last 20, 30 years. And at that time, Bridget did not feel, and probably justifiably so, that they could service that large of a geographical area. So a Charlotte East was created. Shepherd Center Charlotte East was created. And then shortly thereafter, this was in the mid-90s, Shepherd Center Charlotte South was created. There were 3 Shepherd Centers in Charlotte at one point in time. That lasted for about 2 or 3 years, and Charlotte East and Charlotte South chose to merge. They were both much smaller than Shepherd Center of Charlotte. They didn't provide the scope of programming that we did, but they still served their community through Adventures in Learning and in medical transportation primarily. Unfortunately, Southeast was also not able to sustain itself, and just a year ago, April, chose their doors. And we have tried as much as we can to support the folks that live in those areas through Adventures in Learning and their medical transportation. So
Right.
that's dependent on the volunteer drivers we have. So
Right.
if any of you are out there and want to volunteer to drive folks, we can always use it. But that's a really important service to seniors in the area. Whenever you talk to them, that's their biggest challenge.
And the main Shepherd Center is not brick and mortar, but
That's correct.
You're based where?
Our administrative offices are based at Trinity Presbyterian Church.
Right.
They gift us the space, which is tremendous for us.
Off of Providence Road.
Off of Providence Road, right near Sharon Amity. We have, up until this spring, had our Adventures in Learning at Providence United Methodist, which is right across the street.
Right.
Our summer Adventures in Learning is at Christ Episcopal, which is right down the street.
Right.
We have our tax program over at Providence Baptist Church on Randolph Road. As I said earlier, our technology classes are at Southminster.
Right.
So we're kind of all over the city.
Yeah.
We do ship counseling at Trinity in our administrative offices, but we also do it at Sharon Towers and at Covenant Presbyterian and, for their clientele. So
And let's talk about that. So can anybody join involvement in classes? I mean,
anybody can. There is not
Correct.
a membership attached to Shepherd Center.
Okay.
Anybody who is 55 years or older can participate in any of the programs. And in fact, we open the computer programs up to anybody.
Anybody meaning any denomination?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Just so we're clear.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Good point. While this Shepherd Center was based on a need identified by the faith-based community, we are a 501c3, and we have funding streams from all kinds of places.
Right.
Individuals, foundations. So we not only do we accept, but we encourage
Right.
people of all faiths and ethnic groups, and we get them.
Yeah. Well, that's a great thing
Yeah.
about Charlotte. It's so diverse now.
It is diverse, yeah.
And it's continued to do so. Second fastest growing city in the United States.
That's what I hear.
metropolitan
That's what I
area,
hear. And a very popular
yeah. Retirement area.
retirement area. That's
Yes.
right. Destination is the word I was looking for.
Well, some would say it's because of the great medical community that we
Wow.
have, but I think it's also they're following grandchildren, no?
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. One of the volunteers that just moved here not too long ago, and she's participated, I think, in all 3 of our programs, said to me she came here because she had a 92-year-old mother that lived here, but she also had a daughter and grandchildren that
Right.
lived here. She was the only one that was out west. So when she retired, she moved here to be with her family. And the interesting thing is that she said she was, despite being around family, so lonely until she found Shepherd Center.
Yeah.
Because your family can't fulfill all of your needs.
Right.
You need to have peers.
Yeah.
And now she's just one of our really dynamic volunteers. So.
And your board, tell us about the diversity of the board. I think people would like to know that.
Our board is comprised of all ages. We have representatives from the retired medical community.
Right, doctors.
Doctors, retired physicians. We have folks from the IT community, retired, that we use their skills a lot. We have folks like yourself from home health care, because they are good partners for us.
Right, home health care, senior care, yeah.
Senior care. We have attorneys.
Yep.
We have real estate folks. We have a guy that is retired construction.
Very diverse.
Really
board.
diverse, and we're adding diversity of all kinds.
Yes.
Not only through age, but gender and ethnic group, and it's really helping to deepen who Shepherd Center is and who they serve.
Right.
So.
And that experience helps in this strategic growth
That's right.
of
That's
it
right.
and the monitoring of it. I think it's been very good. And then we have you at the helm, which has been fantastic.
Well, that's like sort of herding cats, you know. One of the things that I like to say is just to really emphasize the volunteer nature.
Yes.
Every program that I mentioned is led, taught, planned by volunteers.
Yeah.
I have 3.2 staff people, including myself,
Yeah.
and over 300 volunteers.
Wow.
We have office workers that are volunteers. We have planning committees for adventures in learning, for travel. All of our teachers are volunteers, whether they're computer or adventures in learning. People who lead the trips are volunteers. Now, staff oversees them, but they're all volunteer committees that plan it, and they have veto power.
So volunteers are encouraged.
Absolutely.
Anybody who's even remotely interested to be involved or even hear more about getting involved should reach out to Marcia and ask more about it. And don't be afraid to say, well, I only have 6 hours a month to give. Well, they'll take it, right?
We get people who have 2 hours a month.
Right,
yeah, that's great. We had our new calendar went out a couple of weeks ago, and we happen to have a volunteer that is a really good editor.
Really?
So she comes in and helps edit the calendar, you know, or the newsletter. So
Now you have a big event coming up soon.
we do.
Tell us about that.
Chef Wars. It's the day after tomorrow.
That's really cool.
Yeah. It is when actually 7 of the local retirement communities' chefs come and showcase their community and their food. And we have 250 people attending, plus volunteers. And they will get to taste the food and then judge it.
Right.
And we give away a trophy. And we do this for 2 main reasons. One of which is to let people know in our demographic, and even younger, that retired community chefs can compete with the best chefs in town. And if you've ever been to a Chef Wars, you will be convinced of that. And secondly, because we do serve that 55-year and above, we do, all of our programming is focused on keeping people independent. However, we know their next step is the independent living or assisted living retirement community or home health care.
Right.
So we want people to be educated on what their next step should be and when.
Yes. Yeah, that's very important. I tell you, I've been going to Chef Wars myself through the board and outside the board for many years now, and to see the growth of it has been amazing. Now, unfortunately, by the time this airs, it will be after the thing, but keep it in mind for next year, because it really is an amazing thing. Not only do you get to have an incredible meal for an inexpensive price, you're supporting the Shepherd Center.
Right.
You get to see truly the culinary cuisine of some of the finest retirement communities in Charlotte. We're really fortunate to have some top-notch independent as well as corporate retirement communities in the country.
Absolutely.
We're very fortunate.
Very much so, yes. And we do have folks like our home health care partners and our retirement community partners and some of our other transition partners that will come and provide door prizes and showcase their wares as well. So, that'll be exciting. Tell me some of the other things you have coming on in the fall. Our fall programming starts in October with our fall adventures in learning. Although, as I said, we have trips and technology classes ongoing.
Right.
Our history program will end at the end of August. However, this year, because of our 35th anniversary, we're actually having an open house at our offices on August 25th in the afternoon that I would invite anybody to attend and see where we are and what we do in the history. We're pulling out all the old pictures and
cool.
So we just want to celebrate our volunteers. We want to celebrate the organization and the whole concept of lifelong learning and service for seniors in Charlotte. So.
Well,
look
good,
for that.
good.
Look for that coming out. So that'll be fun.
Yep.
And then, as I said, Fall Adventures in Learning will start up in October, and it
Okay.
will run for 6 consecutive Mondays. And then we'll take a break, and then start up again the end of January for the winter session. So,
Really? And tell me again the trips coming up in the fall, because by the time we watch this, it'll probably, do we know yet or not yet?
Well, we do.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'll remember
Oh,
all of
sorry.
them, but we do have a trip to Davidson, to Flat Rock.
Yep.
We've got to one of the wineries in the fall. We usually go
the
up
state?
somewhere. Yep. And go out to Asheville to see some of the leaves. You know, we
Yeah,
always take
yeah.
a fall trip, but they're all online.
Really?
So people can access them online.
I know we're going to be showing that, but what is the website address?
It's www.shepherdswithanscharlotte.org.
Okay, and that'll be showing up on our
Right,
TV
right,
monitor
right.
for the viewers.
And anybody who does not get our newsletter and would like one, they can call the office and we'll be happy to mail one out to them.
Right, so you have a hard copy
And we do,
newsletter.
as well as its availability online.
Well, that's good. Yeah, because as they take the technology class,
That's right. That's right. See that? Yeah.
they learn from the iPad.
And if they don't, and I neglected to mention this, but if they are still not quite sure about all that technology stuff, we still offer our Intro to Computers.
Yes.
Which is very basic, you know, and just shows people how to navigate around the computer.
Yeah, right.
So
Right. So, and Pam has been with you for a while too, right?
Pam is our office manager / travel planner
She's top notch.
/ she is the one with the most history right now, since well, actually she predated Linda as well. And she knows people from way back. As we were writing this history, we relied on her. And then we have 2 other staff people. One is Nina Artin, who is our program director, and she oversees all the learning stuff. And then we have an admin,
Right.
Leia
So I think
Ambler.
it's important to mention everybody again what the Shepherd Center can do. I think we've learned a lot tonight about what the Shepherd Center can do and what they're going to be doing, both at the end of 2015 and starting the 2016, but also the need and the desire for volunteers that we'd like to have
Very much
call
so.
up the Shepherd Center.
And people are never sorry.
Yeah. Well, great. I want to thank you again, Marcia Scheideman, who is the Executive Director of the Shepherd Center of Charlotte. There's only one now. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Thank you all of the viewers out there that were joining us for the show, and we look forward to you joining us for the next episode of Aging with Attitude. Good night.